Now, I can go and talk to the cow over the fence, maybe. That's a good conversation. He's about my level of intelligence.
I'm not disagreeing. This guy's actually starting to make sense now. He says he has conversations with the cows of equal intelligence to him. And yeah, we're not going to disagree with you there. Coach Greg, and in today's video, I'm going to be responding to none other than Bart K, the university professor who is unemployed living at a farm. And so the question was asked, what university does Bart work at? And so Bart's response, well, my current employment status is none of your business. Think about it, idiot. People with a profile such as mine cannot afford to go around telling the world things like where they might work or live. Use your brain for once in your life. And so what does someone with a PhD, well-established guy like Lane Norton think? Bart K, oh, you mean the lunatic who claims to be a university professor, but the university he claims to lecture at has no record of him. Yeah, I don't really give a shit what he thinks. And so when you watch this video, keep in mind he claims to be a university professor, but is he really? Kind of like how I say I have a master's degree in kinesiology, had the highest average in university. If I made that up, if it never really happened, if it wasn't true, then what would you think of me? Would you listen to the information I'm giving? And so now that that's out of the way, I'm gonna expose how he actually lost all that weight. Or did he? Claims to have lost 15 pounds in 2 weeks. We're gonna go over his diet. And so rather than listening to an hour and 38 minutes of BS, we're gonna watch what is his actual diet. What did he do to lose the weight? Spoiler alert, guy used to drink a ton of alcohol, ate corn chips, had a horrible diet, yet thinks that me drinking Diet Pepsi, caffeine-free, that's such a horrible thing, that carbs are bad. Can't wait till you see what he actually eats in the real world.
Encouraging people to learn about what is and what is not science and the nonsense that you're being fed, really, in terms of what they are putting forward as nutrition science.
And remember, this is the guy, he's famous for this. There's no such thing as calories. It's heat in, heat out. Seco, we all got it wrong. You don't lose weight by being in a calorie deficit. It's heat in, heat out. You need to go through hypothermia to lose weight.
If you're in a calorie deficit, that means your body core temperature has been reduced because calories are heat, Greg.
Or, of course, surgically remove your body parts and or never drink water.
Number one, you can surgically have parts of your body removed, Gregory.
His words, not mine.
So I also do coach people one-on-one in the background, those that want to consult with and ask me questions about it and make sure that things are on track.
And so he claims to be a professor of everything. I don't have time to list all the things he is. And so perhaps where he's from and his planet, you have hundreds and hundreds of years to study enough to become an expert in all of these fields.
We did a 1-month challenge. Raymond got a hold of me and said, I'd really like to coach you because, I can see some issues there.
And even with all this knowledge, he's an expert. The guy's 50 years of age and had to hire a weight loss coach himself to help him lose weight. And on the side, what does he do? Well, he's of course a weight loss coach. And so January 2021, that's last year, he went through a 30-day challenge to try to lose weight because he had many issues he needed to work out. Last year.
So we did that. Had some really good results over the month. Lost quite a bit of the dad bod flab. I almost got a 6-pack happening in a month. Got control of the alcohol thing a little bit.
And so he managed to get the willpower to stay on this special diet that he thinks is way better than mine for 30 days. And remember, I promote a diet that's sustainable that you can stick to for the rest of your life.
And then all the nonsense started about that stage with the pandemic and the lockdown.
Fell off the wagon, started drinking again, and eating all kinds of junk food. What kind of food? Well, pizza, corn chips, junk crap.
The biggest issue was not the odd packet of corn chips. It wasn't the odd packet of biscuits. I was drinking probably 12 units of alcohol twice a week, every week, without little hindrance.
And yet he makes fun of me. He makes fun of my cookbook. Oh my God, there's carbs in there. What a horrible idea to eat low-calorie dense foods, the foods that you enjoy, that you can stick to for the rest of your life. Well, that is just a bad idea. Why listen to Coach Greg?
December last of 21 and said, right, let's do this again. Only this time it's 3 months, Charlie Brown. And I said, okie dokie, same deal. We'll do it open hand on my channel. And he said, yep, let's do it.
And so after a year-long relapse, after going through a 30-day diet, he then was challenged to do 90 days. Wow, that's amazing. Imagine you can go from 30 days to 90 days of eating healthy. Only thing, I eat healthy year-round for decades. But no, why would I ever want to do that? Heat in, heat out. After all, he lost 15 pounds in 2 weeks while eating 6,000 plus of our so-called calories. Planet's this guy from?
Maybe why did you decide to challenge him to 90 days this time instead of 30 days?
Well, first of all, on the 30-day one, Bart and I, we were talking with Tom and the crew, and Bart was complaining a little bit at that time.
And so during that 30 days, Bart was complaining about the diet. And listen, it was 30 days. If you can't enjoy the diet you're on for even 30 days, what chance do you have of eating like that for the rest of your life? Eventually, willpower runs out. And so with my diet, that's the thing. You don't even feel like you're dieting. But no, Coach Greg, you're a horrible human being. You're a cookbook idiot. Never been cursed at so many times in years. And you thought that one video was bad? He had a former video, Coach Greg. It was taken down by YouTube. It was seen as being so horrible. And so there we have it. Photo on the left, photo on the right. Guy blowing out his stomach, making it stick out further, and on the right, sucking it in. Does that look like a 100-pound transformation? Does that look like the guy lost so much weight it's hard to believe? Remember, he claims to have lost 15 pounds in 2 weeks, eating over 6,000 calories. Yet we see after 90 days, this is all he lost. And so if he lost so much weight in 2 weeks, well, how do you explain this? Personally, I don't even see a 15-pound weight loss from left to right. This could have been me at night, me in the morning. Have you seen my own 15-second transformation? Standing relaxed, stomach sticking out versus flexed. 15 seconds apart. Not 15 days, not 90 days, 15 seconds. Looks like I lost more weight than this guy.
But for me, the huge issue was I was drinking probably 12 units of alcohol twice a week.
And so the problem with his diet, it wasn't really eating so many carbs, the corn chips, the pizzas, the junk foods. It was the fact that he was drinking way too much alcohol multiple times a week. And as you know, alcohol has calories. Calories in, calories out. Oh, sorry, heat in, heat out. And so as you know, food has heat. And so if you take in too much heat, well, you're not being hypothermic and you can't lose weight. And so once he discovered how to cut out the alcohol, the chips, the pizzas, and so on, he started to lose weight. How does that go against what I preach? I tell people to eat in a calorie deficit, and that is how you lose weight.
Actually, it was the lockdown thing. It was boredom. It was, I work from home. I'm a YouTube creator. I don't have a job to go to.
And so he works from home. He doesn't have a job to go to. His words, not mine. Last I checked, a professor, it's somebody who actually lectures students. Lane Norton has a PhD. To me, that's a guy who's highly educated. But notice he doesn't call himself a professor. Why? Because he's not a professor. He doesn't teach students. And so if you're living at home on a farm and you're a YouTuber with 26,000 followers and you perhaps coach a few people on how to lose weight and you have your own coach on how to coach you to lose weight, how are you a professor?
I've got clients to see online. Fine, I can do that during the day. What am I going to do? I haven't had a change of scene. I haven't come home from work. I haven't been out anywhere. I've just been in the house all day, bored.
And clearly the guy's got to be overwhelmed with work. I mean, think of it. He's so famous. He's so knowledgeable. Probably has thousands of clients. He's probably never bored. Only thing he says, yeah, I got a couple clients and then I'm bored and then I eat. Does that not sound familiar? You get home from work, bored. You did good during the day. You didn't overeat. You sit down at night, you're watching Netflix, and you keep eating chips. Before you know it, you've eaten too much, you gain weight. Now, when I started a YouTube channel, and I was coaching so many people, I was working 12 to 16 hours a day. Didn't have any time for anything, could barely get to the gym. When I was at the gym, I was working the entire time, had no time for myself, was working myself to death because that's how much work I had to do. But no, my methods don't work. Which one of us wrote a cookbook? And I'm more than one. Who wrote a circle diet book? Life's Work, How to Lose Weight and Keep It Off. And what about my 4 training books?
I live rurally out the back of nowhere on a farm, but when you actually want to interact with people, or, I can go and talk to the cow over the fence, maybe. That's a good conversation. He's about at my level of intelligence, that bloke,
I mean, I'm not disagreeing. This guy's actually starting to make sense now. And so listen, there's nothing wrong with living in a farm. There's nothing wrong with living out your dreams to be a YouTuber. And if he wants to coach people lose weight, great. I don't care what diet you're on, keto, carnivore, vegan, vegetarian. But when you make videos saying calories in, calories out don't work, that you can break the laws of thermodynamics, well, to me, that's going too far. And if you're going to criticize my diet, well, I'm going to defend myself. I'm going to show the world. How exactly do you eat? If your way is so much better, well, let's learn from you. And so we're learning right now. This is what he does. This is his experiences. This is why he lost weight. The guy drank alcohol multiple times a week, was eating a lot of junk. He was bored. And the solution is calories in, calories out. You eat in a deficit. Hopefully you're lifting weights and doing cardio, of which he's against doing steady state cardio, 150 minutes of cardio a week, which I and others promote. And so I'm simply here to show you his way and my way, and you can choose the best way for you after you learn everything. With knowledge comes power, and so I'm here to help and educate you. And so there's the before and after. And what I see is a guy sticking his belly out on the left and a guy flexing on the right with some airbrushed black lines contouring where the abs should be. And so I'm not saying this guy's overweight, not calling him fat, looks to be at a healthy weight. Some people like to call this skinny fat. To me, he just looks normal. Normal guy, perhaps lost 10 pounds.
Okay, we did a 30-day challenge, as we've been talking about a year before. The second it was finished, it was like, right, I've done my 30 days without drinking alcohol. Right, excellent. So I made up for it.
And so how many times has that happened to you? You go on a diet, you're all in, perfect, 2-a-day training even. You do it for 30 days, then you quit. You fall off the wagon, you go back to your old ways, you gain back all the weight and then some. You do so while crushing your metabolism. You're on a crash diet, you're losing muscle, 15 pounds in 2 weeks, clearly crash dieting. And so you regain the weight and then some. And so the vicious cycle of yo-yo dieting year after year, that takes place. Often after New Year's. New Year's resolution and go lose weight. You get into February, it's already over. And so to me, definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. And so why not try something different? Get my Circle Diet book, my life's work, explaining how to lose weight and keep it off. Finally, for once, you won't feel like you're dieting. You eat some meals from my cookbook. They're lower in calories, higher in protein for the big eaters. Large meals. Not some schmuck serving, not a little tiny plate leaving you hungry. You're actually full. And if you haven't heard of my Seco Bar, 220 calories, 20 grams of protein, and 15 grams of high quality fiber, gonna help you stay full, gonna keep you satiated.
Hey, let's go, choice. That's a New Zealand word, means excellent. Straight back on the cider again, which was all full of sugar and, just absolute nonsense. I can't believe I used to do that, frankly.
Exactly. I mean, we can all relate to this guy. He was drinking too much cider, got lots of calories, lots of sugar. He's eating pizza, corn chips, and so on. And so he wasn't happy with his physique. He called it a dad bod. And so he finally got off of all that, stopped eating all that crap, and he lost some weight. Congratulations. Calories in, calories out, or in his words from his planet, heat in, heat out.
At no stage did I feel like going and getting some alcohol seriously at any stage for more than a second or more. No, I'm not doing that. That's not.
And listen, I'm not here to say you can't drink. I wouldn't say to someone, you can't drink wine ever again. You're trying to lose weight. It's out of the question. To me, any diet where you cut out something that you absolutely love, that's not the diet for you. Diet should be sustainable and everything in moderation.
I had one splurge on my 50th birthday, which was right at the end of the challenge, a day or so before the 90 days was going to finish. I drank half a bottle of gin.
And so what about drinking alcohol now? Well, for the most part, it's doing really good. He had alcohol, half a bottle, the night of his 50th birthday, but he was ill the next day, couldn't keep water down and so on. And so he says overall, it's not worth it. And so if you have certain foods in your diet, perhaps it's alcohol or junk food, sugar, you name it, and it doesn't agree with you, well then stop eating it. I'm not here to say you have to follow my way of dieting, that everyone needs to eat like me. But what I am saying is find the diet that works for you, one of which you can follow for the rest of your life.
And we saw little ridge marks on your six pack kind of peaking there. I've only had one other client that was around our age that actually got a six pack out of this.
And so there's 2 in total that you can see abs. Yet I've quite literally had tens of thousands who followed my diet who can say the same thing. Not 2, tens of thousands and literally millions have watched me describe my diet and made a difference in countless lives.
First time around when we did it, I went to go straight to rolling 48s with you. And that was actually pretty difficult.
And so how do they diet? Well, the first time they tried eating every second day. So every 48 hours you get to eat. And he said, well, I found it really hard because the first day of fasting, I didn't really enjoy it. And so if that works for you, oh mad, you eat every other day perhaps, well then do that. I'm certainly not a fan of it, but if that's what you need to do to lose weight, then by all means, give it a try. Of course, seek the advice of your doctor. You can't just ask a professor. You need to actually ask a doctor, somebody who has your best interest at heart.
With the way we did it the second time around with the priming, obviously the fasting was absolutely dead easy. The fasting was an absolute pleasure every single time we got to fasting.
And so the second time he says a lot better because of priming. And so it was a lot easier. And so let us learn what exactly is priming so that you can learn from Bart K and apply it into your own diet. After all, he says it's easy. And so what exactly is priming?
Priming basically is eating yourself stupid. It gets to the point where eating food at all is torturous because you've eaten so much over the first 2 weeks of the program.
Okay, and so in the second method, this is what you do. For 2 weeks, you binge until you're sick all the time. You eat so much food, it's disgusting. You always feel miserable. You hate your life. You can't stand the thought of eating food. And so essentially you trick your body into thinking you hate food. It's disgusting. And so you can't wait until you stop binging. It's almost a pleasure. It's a relief. Finally, I get to stop eating. And so that is priming. And so if you want to try that, well, give it a try. I wonder if this applies to other things. You're out there, you're trying to give up smoking. Well, why not smoke 5 to 10 packs of cigarettes a day for 2 weeks, get to the point where you just can't stand it, and then stop cold turkey.
I wish my daddy'd had the parenting skills to do this for me. I tell you what, start puffing, boy.
Goddamn stake in my life, that'll be great, you know. So harder up front, the work was up front this time. It was, you know, priming is the work.
And so the priming is the work. And so for 2 weeks, you have to really force feed and you hate your life. And that is the hard part. And then the fasting for 90 days after, well, it's easy in comparison to those 14 days of torture where you're eating yourself sick.
Our parents were being told was good for us. So it was balanced diet. It was fruit and vegetables. It was bread and pasta and rice.
And so when he was a kid, he had a balanced diet. Sounds like he ate well, but he says it didn't work for him. He was a small kid and he's grown up into a mountain of a man, 140 pounds. And so he's not big now. It's not like eating in this way somehow magically put on a ton of muscle. He's 140 pounds, 50 years of age. Don't know how tall he is, but I would say he's probably at a healthy weight. And so nothing wrong with that. And so there you have it, everyone. Now you know how Bart K has lost all that weight and kept it off. And so if you want to follow his diet, you can go and check him out. And of course, if you want to follow mine, well, use code Greg. You get 10% off. Click the link in the description. You can go to gregdoucette.com or visit htltsubs.com. Please comment for the algorithm. I look forward to reading your comments. And if you could subscribe right now, that would do me a huge favor. Subscribe and click that bell button. Watch one of the tube loops. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you learned something. And until next time, I am out.